Hi, this is Time with Gloria. So today I'll be giving you 6 tips on why someone might find you intimidating. So I'll be giving you the scripture of King Saul and David and how he wanted to just get rid of David. David was only a shepherd's boy. King Saul was a whole king and he still wanted to kill David. So my first tip is they see potential in you. So for someone to find intimidating, they must see potential in you. So you might be like you might have a boss who is of a higher status to you. You might think they're of a higher status. You might think they've got a better job, better car, nicer home, live in a nicer area, and they might still find intimidating. They might still hate on you. They might still be horrible to you and be thinking, how can you have all of that and still hate me? That happens. So what happens is they might see your potential. You might not be where they are, but they see your traits, they see your qualities, they see your characteristics, and they just see a whole lot of potential in you that they might think they don't have, and you might intimidate them. And sometimes they might want to stop you from rising above them because they know you could do that. So they could like hinder your appraisal, like give you bad appraisals and recommendations. So having someone in a higher position, just because they're in a higher position doesn't mean that they might not find you intimidating, because naturally they might see they might see your potential and they might just hate on you. So that's my first tip. And my second tip is they see you as a threat. So I'm gonna elaborate on David and King Saul and what happened that made Saul see David as a threat. So I'll be reading first, and this is from the Amplified version in the Bible. So that's 1 Samuel 18:7-9, and I quote. So verse 7 says, "And the women responded as they laughed and frolicked, saying, Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000s." Verse 8 says, "And Saul was very angry, for the saying displeased him, and he said, They have ascribed to David 10,000s, but to me they have ascribed only thousands. What more can he have but the kingdom?" Verse 9 says, "And Saul jealously eyed David from that day forward." So in this situation, we see a whole king who is ruling a whole kingdom, finding a shepherd's boy like as a threat, literally, because the women sang the songs. So he saw that like, well, they're singing the songs. They're saying he's killed 10,000s now. So what next? My throne, like the kingdom. Okay, so that literally just made Saul see David as a threat, and from that day on, he just plotted in his heart to kill David. So tip 3 says they are insecure about themselves and their abilities. So in general, like people who might find intimidating, to be honest, are having insecurities. Like they are not confident in their own potential. They're not confident in themselves that they can do more than you have, or they're not confident in their qualities. They might see you to have some qualities that they might think are better than the qualities they have, and they might think your qualities will help you to get to where you want to get to definitely or quicker than them. So they've just got their own insecurities, and they just tend to project that insecurities on you. So take note of that by attacking you, literally. So the 4th tip is they do not have a firm stand with God and in life. So usually if you're a child of God and you know the promises of God in your life, you kind of hold on to that word and you put your confidence and trust in God to help you get to where you're going. But if you don't have that confidence in God, then you get weak. And if you're leaning on your own understanding, then that just sort of demoralizes you, like makes you weak. And then when you see potential in someone, you just get intimidated because like, you've got nothing to hold on to. Because usually most children of God just hold on to the promises, and some know the promises of God about their lives because God communicates with them. So if God is communicating with you, you know that God says that and that and that is going to happen. So you're just really confident that this is going to happen. You kind of just pursue it, like holding on to God. But if you don't have that, then you're just like weak and vulnerable somehow, and you're just like easily intimidated by others. Also, if you've got like goals in life, you know, like if you've got a firm stand with your own life, as in confident in yourself, then why not? You wouldn't necessarily find others intimidating. So my fifth tip is they are not confident in themselves, so they find other people intimidating. I think I just hit on that earlier on. The sixth tip is they do not have any ambitions and fixed goals. So even people with ambitions and fixed goals tend to find others intimidating. Just because you've got an ambition doesn't mean that you might not find someone else intimidating. You might do, because you might think they're more ambitious than you, or they've got what it takes to fulfill their ambition more than you. So you might still find them intimidating. But the good thing about people having ambitions is because they've got a goal, they sort of work towards the goal. So if they found someone where they want to be, instead of hating on them, they see them as a role model, or they see them as a mentor, and they sort of try to follow in the steps of that person. So that kind of helps them. But if you haven't got ambitions and fixed goals, then you're sort of wavering. So it's you're more likely to be easily intimidated. Yeah. So these are my 6 tips on why someone might find you intimidating. So it isn't all about it. You don't necessarily have to be in a good place to have someone to be intimidated by someone, because in King Saul and David's situation, we can clearly see that Saul was a whole king and still was intimidated by David. So that tells us that I think these people who you intimidate or are intimidated by you see your potential, they see where you're going, they see where you could get to, and that's what really intimidates them. It isn't about what you don't have, because in King Saul's case, we could clearly see that he wasn't intimidated by David because David was anybody, because he was only a shepherd's boy, but he could just see where David could get to the point where he thought he could get his throne. And in the end, David did get the throne, and he was like, if not the best ruler, one of the best, well, probably the best. So you know, when you find yourself in a position where like a big person, you might think this is like a huge person. When I say huge, in the sense where this is like someone who's really gone up the ranks or is really high up there in society, and they're still like, you still feel like maybe you threaten them, or you still feel like they're hating on you. It isn't because you've got nothing. It's only because they can see your potential, they can see where you're going. So take note of that. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Gloria Hustle at Instagram and Twitter. Thank you. Bye.